Can I ask what took it to the next level? Because there is bluntly a huge amount of content, which is Happy Earth Day, Happy Sunday, Happy Mother Day, whatever it is. When did you go, huh, I can be a little bit different here?
I think it was the naivete of like being in an office for the first time. Like I always say the reason why our TikTok was so successful is because I didn't really know all that much about advertising, if I'm being honest. Like I was a new grad. I kind of had fresh eyes on it. And I remember walking into the office, and this is like after the after pandemic, I don't know. But when the office opened for the first time and things were coming back to normal, and I walk into the office and there was this big green owl, which is the suit we all know and love today, just sitting in the corner. And I was like, that is so freaking weird. Like, why is it just there? No one's reacting, whatever. And at the time, it was just meant for like people team stuff where they go to recruiting events and then the owl pops up. And I was like, what if I just like, and I love TikTok on my own. Like I was already consuming it. And I was like, what if I just make like a funny piece of content off of this? And it was nothing crazy risky. It was nothing like, I would say to the extent of what you may see duos TikTok do today, but it was just different. It was unexpected and no brand was doing it yet. And I think that was kind of our insight in. And it was like these small human moments that I think has made our TikTok kind of blow up.
I want to start kind of top down because I think a lot of people look at content that does very well and goes like, how do I recreate it? How do I do the same? And I think
Yeah.
a lot starts with actually, before we get to the content, the platform itself. You were kind of given this open purview. Why did you decide TikTok was the platform that you wanted to spend the time on and there was the opportunity for?
I think there's two ways to think about it, honestly. I think one, I grew up with TikTok, like that was what I was doing and using, and like grow up as in like being in college, like that's just what I was on. And like during the pandemic, I was just on it, and this was a native platform to me, so I already kind of knew how it worked and how it functioned and what worked well and what didn't work and what made me laugh. And then I think the real tipping point for me was when TikTok mentioned that they had 1 billion users. And this was in September of 2021. And I remember so distinctly thinking that if people are on TikTok, they're not on our app. So, how do we bring people back to our app? And I'm a firm believer, and I know our CEO said this too, that I don't think like Babbel or Rosetta Stone or other language learning places are our actual competitors. Like our real competitors are like TikTok and other social media platforms that are like taking the attention away from doing your daily lesson. So how do we use that to our advantage? How do we bring the daily lesson or the push notification to TikTok and bring people back to us?
You mentioned like elements that are trending that you're kind of taking account of and putting in, Slack channels. Is that including like what's happening on Instagram or what's happening on Facebook or TikTok, or is it just channel by channel? Like, are channels transferable, I guess is what I'm asking.
I would say they used to not be, but now for I think video content is a little bit. Well, actually I take that back. I feel like they're all it's so hard, man. Because sometimes I feel like it is, and other times I'm like, it's absolutely not. But right now we're focusing a lot on TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. And I would say that TikTok and Reels feel more connected, and Shorts just feels like a new ball game. Shorts feels like stuff like YouTube Shorts feels like something like my 13-year-old nephew would be posting from the back of his middle school bathroom. Like it's just so confusing, and I'm like I'm trying to understand Gen Alpha and like what goes there, but I would say like the trends are very different, the content's very different there. So we're still trying to crack that nut, and a lot of things that break the internet and trend on TikTok don't do well on Shorts. So